What is up, Lightfighters? Welcome back to the channel. This is, as always, Lightfighters Anonymous, the show where the tactics are made up, the techniques do not matter, and we lie in the AAR about how we followed procedure. Today, I have a bit of an admission to make to you. I am not a GunTuber. As a matter of fact, I have never been a GunTuber all along. I have been a full-blown psychological operation, yes, just like Haley Luhan, except for I'm 6'2" and my freckles are malignant. I am a psyop. I have been secretly whoring myself out to up recruitment numbers to do cool shit. What is this cool shit, you may ask? Well, it is my personal Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercises, LPFX. Yes, we have a YMCA dance. And if you want to find out more about what this LPFX experience is like, hang in after the intro.
Eagle 2, this is Lightfighter 1-1. How copy, over.
Contact!
Contact!
1-1, this is Eagle 2, good copy, set traffic, over.
All right, what is up, guys? Thanks for hanging through the intro. First off, I want to apologize for just sitting in my squat rack and talking to you. I wanted to shoot this outside, but we have like 40-mile-per-hour winds today. And this is actually some information I wanted to get out. I think it's important to moving forward and moving along in May. What is coming up in May? Well, of course, that is our second Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise. And here today, I am going to be kind of talking about what that is, because I've been trying to drive up some recruitment to these events. And I've been, of course, getting a lot of people asking, you know, hey, what do I expect at this event? I don't want it to be a waste of time. Who does? So today, I'm kind of getting into what to expect in a Lightfighters Anonymous Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise. And just hopefully giving you guys a briefing and hopefully answering a little bit of your questions before they arrive. So first things first, as you go to the website, you're probably going to notice that it says this is an invite-only event, and that might scare you away right away, and I don't want that to. To get an invite, it is very simple. We just want to get in contact with you and get to know you a little bit before we invite you out to do our cool training events. What this process really entails, first step is go to the back of the website where it says join us. You fill out a little form of information. You submit your phone number and email. That goes to one of our staff, typically me at this point. And then I get in contact with you, and then we just start a little conversation, get to know each other a little bit better. We don't keep this invite-only system because we think we're a bunch of secret squirrels or we're a bunch of door kickers with blurry faces. People who attend these events are just regular guys like you and me. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have some cops that come out, we have some just everyday homesteaders, as well as professional military guys come out and do these events. They are really for everyone. Particularly what we are vetting for when we're trying to get to know you is that you have a good attitude. Really, that is the number one absolute requirement, is when you come out, you have to have a good attitude. Other than that, we do typically prefer some people with some light fighter experience. That is attainable in many different ways through lots of different courses that are available to civilians, as well as obviously in the military. And then finally, we kind of want to make sure that you have the basic load of field equipment that you're going to need to be successful at our events. All right, so once you've signed up on our website and gotten an email from the staff, you are typically cleared to peruse our website of events. Right now, we're hosting 4 events a year. And if any of those events sound like fun to you and you'd like to sign up, get back in contact with our staff, the same email you originally emailed there, and we can get you signed up for those events. So what exactly are these events? All right, so a Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise. These are typically about 36 to 48. We're playing with the timeline. Hour-long events in duration. They're held over weekends, and currently we're hosting 2 in the spring and 2 in the fall. Our next upcoming one, as this video will be posted, is May 9th, 10th, and 11th. What these are blank fire, force-on-force field training exercises. So if you've ever been in any civilian organization that does field training exercises, specifically like One Shepherd, SNS training, Winter Forge, any of these training groups, or if you've been in a military combat arms unit that's done field training exercise, you're going to find that our FTXs are very similar to those. So a typical FTX for us consists of 3 separate elements in the field. We have a blue cell, or a learning or a patrolling element. We have an OP4, or a red cell, which is sometimes a learning and patrolling element as well, but sometimes they just play the whipping boy. And then finally we have the white cell, which operates as admin, strategic level communications asset, real-time emergency planning, and as well critically as referees, which I'll get into here in a little bit. When you sign up for an event, if you have not participated before, typically we like to include you with the Blue 4. This will give you the best experience and the most holistic experience of what an FTX actually is. Blue 4 patrols typically go through all of the leadership procedures, all the troop leading procedures, and they have a full experience of an FTX, where sometimes the Op 4 guys are told specifically how to aid in learning objectives for the Blue 4. So sometimes we have two completely independent thinking free teams that are able to make free decisions against each other. Sometimes for FTXs, we do shape the Op 4 and tell them specifically where to be, how to act, and what to do in order to meet learning objectives for the Blue 4.
Contact! Contact! Call it out! What you got? It's 200 meters. 200 meters.
Finally, the white cell, the OCs are embedded with Blue 4 and Red 4, and they are going to act as referees for engagements, as well as just kind of liaisons to the higher level white cell in case there's any communication problems or breakdowns. So something critically important is that you understand that these are patrol training events. These are not gunfighting training events. We are out there training the Lightfighter dismounted patrolling TTPs. We are not out there specifically training how to fight and win in gunfights. There are plenty of organizations out there that are teaching gunfighting as a whole. However, I think some of the best things you can do is go get on the cardio bike and do some cardio. That's going to be probably the most effective use of your time for winning actual fights. However, we are training patrolling, we are not training gunfighting, and for that reason, we do not use any big official simulation platforms. Now, you're going to ask why, and I understand everyone thinks a lot of simulation platforms are cool and sexy and they get attention, but we have a couple reasons that we don't use these simulation platforms. So the first and primary reason that we don't use any simulation platform, including like UTM, Simunitions, Paintball, Nerf, or even, yes, Miles laser engagement system, is because they are expensive, they are infrastructure, and they are cumbersome. Utilizing these systems in the field adds a whole nother level of complexity, even to get out to the field. It's a whole nother set of batteries for some of this equipment, and a whole nother level of TOE and stuff that can fail. As well, someone has to own all this, and if someone owns it, someone's got to rent it, so it's got to get paid for. So we don't own any of this stuff, and we figure that currently just a blank fire only system is the lowest barrier to entry and can get the most people involved for the lowest price. Everyone has AR-15s already, and everyone can shoot blanks, and this is just a safe and effective way to train patrolling. The second reason is safety, of course. When we don't have any projectiles in the field, like Nerf or airsoft, paintball, UTM, we don't need to wear iPro, and we're not actually shooting stuff at each other. So that is a huge added bonus, that we don't have to wear fogging iPro all day and all night, and every moment that we're in the field, and even when we're in our sleeping bags. I can't stand that. So the third and final reason that we don't use any simulation platforms at an LPFTX is that I'm overwhelmingly disappointed in most of their performance. In the terrain we operate in, there's really not a good solution for simulating a gunfight, and that is completely okay. I've used every training platform there is out there, I assure you, be it airsoft, UTM, Simunitions, paintball, just blank fire only, and including Miles. Of course, a lot of Miles here in the Midwest with One Shepherd and SNS and all those guys owning it around here. All these systems implement huge training scars. They all have their different limitations. Be it heavy vegetation, or be it a very windy day, or just medium distances. So we like to simulate actual engagement distances, and the most easiest way to do this is with blank fire only, and then there being actually no projectile, being very safe that way. So the big question I get asked with no simulation platform is, how do I know when I'm dead, and how do I know when I shot the bad guy? And the truth of the matter is, you won't, and I will answer with, it doesn't matter anyways. We are simulating patrolling and large, gross team maneuvers and team exercises. We will allow gunfights to go on for a little bit. If you find yourself completely dog-ass tired standing up behind a terrible piece of cover in the field and someone's firing at you from 100 meters in a prone supported position, that is when you can assume yourself to be a casualty. We play completely on the honor system, and I find that it is the best way to play when everyone else is responsible for their own life and they're just said, holy shit, we've gotten flanked, or I didn't see that guy shooting at me from over there, it's too late for me. I don't need my sensors to go off to tell me I'm hit. I don't need to feel pain in my right side to tell me I've done wrong. I typically know it. As well, with just typical an honor and an honesty system, which we use very effectively in the field, we also have OCs in the field with both teams. So if both teams get into a knockdown, drag-out gunfight, the OCs typically allow it to go on until there is some decisive action by one team. Now, we don't try to fight each other to the last man, and we don't have 3,000 round gunfights that last all afternoon, because that is not, again, what we're training. The OCs will look for team leadership positions to make critical decisions, to orient their team's gunfire, and to begin maneuvering. At that point, when they're satisfied that there's been a decisive action made by either team, the OCs will call a stop-ex, a temporary stop to the exercise. They'll go meet in the middle with the other OC. They'll talk about how the engagement looked from the other side, and then we can assess casualties and move on from there with our simulation. Again, we're not simulating big casualty problems. We're not simulating medical. We're simulating the patrol. So what typically happens is, hey, pat on the back. You guys won, you guys lost, or everybody lost, or everyone could have done better in this way. And then we separate and we continue our mission for the weekend. So the next question I get asked a lot is it hard? And truthfully, I answer with, I hope so, a little bit. However, I hope more than anything that it is fun. I'm very passionate about good and effective training, and truth be told, human beings intrinsically like learning and like training and like doing new things and new experiences. So I try to have a lot of fun with these exercises, but yes, they are going to be a little strenuous, they are going to be a little hard, and hopefully you will push yourself and, feel that you've actually achieved something at the end of the weekend. So what do I mean by hard? Well, as a light fighter, you need to carry your entire combat load. Everything you come into the field, then you need to survive with for the weekend, you need to be able to carry on your back. Ideally, it's going to be better if you can carry a little bit more than that, because we have things called team line equipment that you might have to carry for any specific number of reasons. Typical distances we cover in a weekend are around 10 to 20 kilometers. Now, for us Americans, that's about 10 miles or so. Now, this is divided up over 36 or so hours. There's obviously rest periods given, and we are working as teams, as patrols, so the patrols can only move at the speed of their slowest man. Now, what this means for you is that you are expected to come in shape. You need to have a base level of fitness to attend these events. You need to come healthy as well. Injury-free is actually pretty specific. No lower back injuries, healthy knees, healthy hips, and ready to step off and walk. Currently, we're hosting these events in southern Missouri in the Ozarks, okay? And if you have not been to this terrain, it is quite unforgiving. It is not mountains, so it can be deceptive, but the terrain changes are significant and abrupt. Now, kind of everything else here, these events are held in the field. You're expected to meet at your link-up point and be able to step off from your vehicle almost immediately, patrol into the field, and then operate until index, which is typically around Sunday morning, when we give everybody time to then patrol out of the field, get a little bit of rest, a little bit of chow in them, and then head home in a safe manner for obviously their work on Monday, because we're all weekend warriors. But what this means is we are not car camping. There is not time to get back to your cars, and there is not oftentimes a 24-pack of water available for you or a McDonald's that you can run to and get food. You need to have your food on you for the weekend. You need to be prepared to cook it or eat it cold. You need to have water, and more specifically, you need to have a way to make water in the field. In the Ozarks, there's lots of water sources, creeks, ponds, so be it. Have a way to treat and purify that water so we do not have to leave the field for water emergencies. We are all, of course, humans, so we do have to eat, we do have to make our faculties, and we have to sleep at night. There is adequate time given to all patrols by the patrol leader to sleep. Everyone can expect to get at least 4 hours of sleep a night. The first night is generally a link-up phase, so the earlier you arrive, the more sleep you can get before we've got to wake up and start our planning phase. All right, and that finally brings me to the timeline of this event. The Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise currently is a 3-phase exercise. It's broken down this way to make it attainable and easy to get to for as many people as possible. Now, we might be changing this in the future just so we have more actual time in the field. However, currently, 3 phases. Now, the first phase is a link-up phase. This is a very generously timed phase that lasts from noon on Friday until no later than 7 in the morning on Saturday. This gives people from all over the country plenty of time to drive to mid-Missouri or fly in if you want to make that commitment, rock on, and then make it to the field and then link up with whichever patrol you have been assigned to, wherever your link-up point has been assigned. The second phase is critical. You must be there for this. This is your team's not necessarily planning phase, but mission brief phase. At this point, your patrol leader will be briefing the mission for the duration of the event. Right now, our events are running after this 24 hours. So however long it takes for your patrol leader to brief his op order, do rehearsals and any last minute preparations, and then step off for his mission that he needs to complete for the duration of the last phase, which is the field training exercise, which is the live phase, full force on force. During this phase, the patrols will step off into an AO, and they will attempt to complete whichever mission they've been assigned. Now, these are typically designed to obviously interact with each other and cause some problems.
Yeah. Okay. We're doing a demo right now.
This phase is nonstop. There's typically no pauses unless an observer controller calls a stop X for an emergency or just for organization of fires. But they last until end of operation, typically around 9 or 10 in the morning, Sunday morning, where both teams will then patrol out of the field to a link-up point. We'll hop in our cars and everybody gets to go home safely for the weekend. So that is our 3 phases of the Lightfighter Patrol exercise as it currently sits. Now, this is subject to change because I think as we get a little bit more reach, we are going to be able to host longer duration operations that maybe begin early on Friday instead of having this long link-up phase. But right now, we have a link-up phase that lasts from noon on Friday all the way until no later than 7 a.m. Saturday, and that's when everyone must be in the field ready to rock and roll. Guys, I hope this answered a lot of questions about what is a Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise, why I'm actually on YouTube, because I'm not here to make money. I'm here to make friends and recruit you guys to do some cool shit. If you do have any more questions about what a Lightfighter Patrol Field Exercise is, obviously go to the website, check it out, type your info in there, and just get in contact with me. I'll answer your questions. So thank you guys for sitting and listening to all this rant. I didn't mean this to be this long. You guys rock on. You guys stay sharp, and I hope to see you guys in May. Thanks.